What's up, guys? My name is Blake Abernathy. I live in Portland, Oregon. Well, I live outside of Portland, Oregon, like 45 minutes. And yeah, this is one of my first videos. I used to make a couple videos back when I was younger. This has been a dream for a long time to get good at this, but not very good at it. But you don't get good unless you start. So this is officially going to be my first new video, and we're actually recording this post gym, but we're going to show you guys a pretty killer chest and shoulders day, push day you might call it. And this is what I've been doing for the last little bit. It seems to be working. I seem to be getting stronger. I seem to be making progress. And so if you guys have any other content requests, we're going to try to get workouts up. You know, if anybody ends up wanting to collab with me, then maybe I'll have a collab video. I'll post dieting videos, everything that I'm doing. But I do have my first show, the Northwest Classic. We're going to be doing that November 8th. So that is where you guys are catching me, is in the middle of a prep. So, lost a good amount so far since my top weight. I'm down about 8 or 9 pounds. So we're gonna see how we can do. Hopefully we win. We're motivated to win, but it's also our first show ever, and I have a lot to learn. So I'm by all means not a genius, but I do have a lot of anecdotal experience, or opinions you might call it, where I'll just be sharing with you guys what's worked for me, what I've done in the past to see some gains, and what I'm doing now to see some gains. And hopefully if anyone out there finds something useful in these videos, that's a win. So we'll get to the workout. Leave comments, like and subscribe. Hate saying that, but like and subscribe. And then we'll get some more content out as best we can. Thanks, guys. Let's get to it. All right, guys. It's chest day. Best day of the week. Let's get out there and crush it. Give this one a try. All right, guys. Getting right into it. We're going to start off on an incline bench machine. Sometimes I will do incline bench. Sometimes I'll do a machine. But you're going to want to put on some weight that you can just rep out for 10 to 15. The goal for this warm-up is to do the movement, but have no fatigue. The best way to warm up a muscle or a workout is simply just to do that workout. And we're going to work our way up to our first working set. So I'm going to throw on 2 plates here and just rep out, 6 to 10 reps. Again, the goal is to have no fatigue. You do not want to burn yourself out before your first working set. I'm going to drink a little bit of my carbs here, my intra workout, get some energy in me. Now this is my first working set. I'm going to go for like 8 to 10. The goal here is to think about contracting the chest as the first muscle that moves. Use the chest to lift the weight. However, if you just do the movement, you're definitely going to get some chest work out there, so you can't really mess this one up. Keep those elbows in and make sure the wrists are straight. You want the weight stacked over your wrists and your wrists stacked over your elbows with pretty much every single workout. Now, I was able to accomplish that set pretty easy, and so I threw on an extra 25 here. Now, I want to stay between my rep range of 8 to 10, and I was not able to accomplish that here, which is depressing. But that's okay. We're going to just take off that weight and hit our third set back at that same weight as our first working set, just so we can get our 3 sets of 8 to 10 in here. So again, looks like I failed this one again, but it is okay. The idea is go to failure. A lot of people will hit, 8 to 10, but then they're not actually failing, so they're not growing at all. I'm going to hit a drop set after this last set just to make sure I'm really getting some chest gains here. So I took off a plate. Going to try to rep it out for a good amount before I go over to my next lift. All right, next up, we're going to do some flat bench. we're going to do dumbbells. I've always liked dumbbells over flat bench. You're working a little bit more of those stabilization muscles, and that is going to help you grow. Now, because my chest was already warmed up from the incline, I did not hit a warm-up set here. I went straight to the 105s, and the goal is simply to beat what I hit last time, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I was able to accomplish that, and because I was at the top of my rep range, you're going to see in my second working set, I actually am just going to grab these 105s again. Now, with the dumbbell bench, a lot of people just fail to do full range of motion. I'm even guilty of this sometimes because everybody wants to ego lift. You always want to get some heavy weight up there, but make sure the bottom of the weight is getting pretty much in line with your chest or your sternum or your nipples. Just try to get down there. That's the whole reason the dumbbells are so valuable, is you can actually go past your chest, whereas in a normal bench you cannot. You're limited. So it looks like I failed on this one, so that is okay. We're going to just put these weight back, and we're going to grab the hundreds and hit our third working set here. Now, this is normally where everyone gives up, is on that set. But if you can see, just take a deep breath and get a little angry at the weight. I had to hit 8 to 10. This is my 8th rep. I don't even know if I'd call it a full rep, but I'm happy with it because that was a true fail. Next up is a key workout in building your chest. This is going to be your chest flies. Intermittently, or I will alternate between normal chest flies and incline chest flies. You can do these both on the same machine. It just kind of depends on where you're pulling the weight to. So really activate the chest, and the stretch is going to be the biggest thing. Again, a lot of people fail to get the full range of motion in their lifts, so really focus on that. Now, this is usually where I take off that pump cover. I get a pretty big pump in this, and I like to look at my chest, as you can see, while I'm doing these. And I'm actively thinking about just pushing as much blood as I possibly can to my chest at the top of this rep. This is where I get the biggest pump, and I feel like sometimes I can just force the striations to come out. Obviously, that's not really true. It comes down to your diet and how lean you are, but it's what I think, and it helps me get bigger, so maybe give that a try. Again, we're going to stay between this 8 to 12 rep range. Really focus on doing solid reps. 5 crappy reps is not as valuable as 3 really solid reps, but I'm not typically doing 3 to 5 reps anyways. It's just the idea behind it. Now we're going to switch over to the chest. We're going to go over to the shoulders. We're going to do some lateral raises on the cables. I like to grab the bar and kind of lean into it. What this is allowing me to do is get a better stretch out of that delt. So I'll have the cable behind me, and I'll let that weight come as close to my butt as I can, or at least the cable as close to my butt as I can, letting that shoulder really stretch out as much as I possibly can let it. The stretch is huge. I'm going to switch over. The key thing is make sure you're doing a weight that you can do with both arms. If this means, if you have your left arm is maybe not as strong as your right arm, start off on your left so that you can eventually balance out the strength between your two arms. You don't want to get one right arm that's crazy strong and one left arm that can never keep up. Now, I superset these with some more lateral raises, but I'm going to push these a little bit out more in front compared to straight out to the side. I was dying here. The 40-pound dumbbells hurt me every time, and it makes me want to cry. But that's okay. I hit it the week before, and so I'm going to do everything I can to get those reps in. I actually matched the reps I did the week before, which is okay. Don't got a PR every week. I'll switch back, get our second working set in here. I'm only doing 2 real sets of these, but on the second set, I'm going to do a drop set for this first workout. So again, get a good stretch in. Lower the weight if you have to. Don't let your pride get in the way. Like, focus on the rep range and the progressive overload. Don't focus on doing 4 sets of 8 with the same exact weight. I always think that if you can do the exact same weight for 4 sets in a row, then you didn't go hard enough on your first 2 or 3 sets, or even your first set. It's pretty rare that I'm able to do the same weight for my first set as I am for even my second one, just because I'm typically going till failure almost every single time. So do what you can. Lower the weight if you have to. Focus on getting the correct rep range in. The other valuable thing to think about here is you are simply just working between this rep range of like 8 to 12. So one week if you get 8, and the next week you get 9, and then 10, and then 11, and then 12. When you get to 12, that is a good sign that it's now time to increase the weight. Don't jump prematurely, guys. There's no value in ego lifting here. Now, this is pretty much the same thing over again, but as you can see, I mean, I definitely have the lifting face. It should hurt. This should really be painful, honestly. There's no gain without pain. So then we're going to switch over to these lateral raises again with the dumbbells. See, perfect example. I had to lower the weight down to 30s, and I'm still about to die. So just do what you can. Get that weight up there. The goal is to get these dumbbells in line or above your shoulders. And yes, sometimes I use a little bit of momentum to get them up there, but the important part is that you're activating the shoulders to lift it, not the momentum. Now is where we switch over to our shoulder presses. Now, because I haven't done a heavy shoulder press this workout, I'm going to hit that same warm-up set. Now, normally I would hit 10 to 15 here, but as you can see, I started to realize I was getting some fatigue, and I don't want fatigue. I want to be able to hit that working set. So I got up to my working set, threw on those 2 plates. This is what I hit last time. I'm going to do everything I can to beat the previous week. So I have a logbook. I'll see in the logbook that I hit this one last week for 7. I was trying to hit 8. And so I'm going to do everything I can to get this up for 8 reps. Now, reminder, an intro workout and some carbs in there and some creatine in there. I've noticed a huge difference when I'm having my intro workout drink with me. So what I do is I fill it up, and then I will constantly refill it back to the top when I get to halfway gone. And then I try to finish the entire drink right before my very last workout to make sure I get all of the benefits there. So find a good intra and use it. As you can see, there's some gains. I'm feeling pretty pumped up. Shoulders are feeling good. Now I'm going to drop this down to a drop set. Get a plate on there and just make sure I really burn out these shoulders. I have a tough time growing my shoulders, so if I can get a finisher in there and really make sure I'm burning and guarantee some gains for the following week, that's what I'm going to do. Now, after my push day, I go and I do some abs. These are what we call a Swiss ball crunch. Normally, I'll add some weight on this, but I'm not adding weight. I'm just adding reps. I really try to focus mostly on the stretch here. That is why you use the ball, is so that you can completely stretch out those abs as much as you can. I don't really feel this working until like about rep 10 to 15. After 10 to 15, it's like honestly the worst burn of my life, and that is how you know that you are growing. So we're going to speed up this video because it's not fun to watch, but you get the point. Make sure you're stretching those abs. Make sure you are getting a good contraction. And then we'll get to some posing right now. that is what a chest day looks like. We're feeling pretty good, pretty pumped up. It's come down a little bit because we ended with 2 shoulder workouts and an ab workout, but we know from that effort we just put in, we're gonna be stronger next week. And so next week, we just gotta make sure we go even harder. Till next time.